So the first thing is make sure that you have a clear SLA, which is service level agreement. So it needs to be very clear in that service level agreement who is doing what and when. You know, that has to be signed by both parties so that there's no grey areas. It's very clear. You need to make sure that there's relevant metrics. So agree the metrics at the very start. So if what you're wanting to do is, say you're outsourcing your social media and you want to have more people book onto your webinar, that could be what your metric is. How many people are you getting booked onto your webinar? And if they're not hitting it, then improving it, then that's what you're measuring on, because that's what you want. So make sure it's a relevant metric for you, for your business. So it's got to be something specific for you, not what they can deliver and it's easy for them to measure. It needs to be, why are you outsourcing it in the first place? And that is what the relevant metric is. Also measure regularly, because you want to see that there is making an improvement. So it is working on it as per expectations or exceeding expectations. Make sure you always have joint reviews, because these are important so that you can understand how things are going. Make sure from the outsourcer's side, is there things that you could be doing differently? Because there's always be certain amount of things that have to be fed into them. So if they're not being able to do their job because you're not giving them the relevant information, they need to communicate that and explain that. And also, with how the metrics are working, you want them to explain why is it working like that. If they're experts in their field, they should be saying, well, it's not working like this at the moment. However, if we did X, Y, Z, we could make it change, and then you can improve it, whatever. So it's really good to have that joint review. So, and that follows into, you need to have lots of communication. So you need to have lots of communication channels open. I'd say make sure that you can just hop on to a Teams or a Zoom's call or Google Hangouts or whatever, because it makes it so much easier than I have found, in your lockdown, when people are getting stressed in that, emails can be read differently to how they're intended. Somebody like, Stephen is a very factual guy. He might say it very as it is. If you're a little sensitive soul, you might not read it very well. So, that's why it's good to have it. So don't mean any offense there, Stephen, but I'm just saying, different people have different styles in their emails. So it's just that's why it's much better when you're face to face. Then you can gauge with the person of which bits are the bits that they're actually upset about. Because honestly, usually when people are upset about something, they're not actually telling you the first thing. Often you have to ask several questions before you find out what the underlying thing is. So to have lots and lots of communication, because if you're the outsourcer, you want your client happy. And if you're the person outsourcing to this other place, then you want to be able to it needs to be not a headache. That's the point of outsourcing. You want to have that taken off your load and be working. Also, you need to adapt requirements. What you originally started out 5 years ago, that's going to be very different to what you need now. So make sure that you keep adapting requirements as business grows. I'm not sure if one of the attendees is still on here, but I remember one of the attendees here, we do management accounts for them, and their business is changing all the time. And almost every month we're changing their management accounts pack, not because they're wrong, but what you're doing is you're adapting to get the right criteria at the right time so that they can manage their business properly.